Hey, this TK Irish at the Camp Kennerk podcast. It's Sunday. It's sports. It's baseball. I got to share something with you. Sean, who lives in Dublin, an old friend of mine, went to New York City and he had a grand time. And he went back to Dublin and talking to his buddies. And they said, "Well, how was your trip?" He says, "Oh my goodness gracious, you wouldn't believe what happened. I went to what was called an American baseball game, and that's the doggonest thing you'd ever see. You go into this huge building, and they got this pasture, big, beautiful pasture. But they got these guys running around the pasture, and they got these funny pants on, and they got hats on, and they all match. They all match. And what's really strange is that they all have a certain position that they got to stand. They got to stand at a certain place. And they and there's this one guy. Now there's this mound. There's this mound that they have, and he stands on this mound, and he's called the pitcher. Now here's where it really gets strange, is that there's a guy down the way from him. He's holding this club, and the pitcher throws the ball to the guy with the club, and the guy with the club is called the batter. And sometimes the batter swings, and sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he swings and hits the ball, and the whole crowd goes, "Wow, whoa, whoa." And he says, "I just can't figure out because once that ball is hit, all these players in the pasture, they're running around like geese getting chased by fox." I mean, it was just, I have no idea. It was just mass confusion, just mass confusion. So after a while, I'm sort of getting the idea of what's going on. And then this one guy comes up with the club in his hand and he stands there at what they call home plate, and the pitcher throws the ball. He throws it four times. Four times. The batter does swing. And all of a sudden, the batter just starts walking down to first base. And I'm confused. I turned to my friend. I said, "What's going on? What's he doing?" He says, "Well, uh, he has four balls." Oh my goodness gracious. I stood up and I yelled, "Walk with pride, my man, walk with pride." So, you learn something new every day in American baseball, and Sean sure had a rude awakening that day. So I know, Douglas, you've been to Yankee Stadium several times, and that was one of your teams of choice. Did you ever see any of that?
TK, so good to see you on our 77th podcast. This is absolutely fantastic because 77 is a number that I can relate to here in my time of life.
Okay, I understand that.
I'm 39 years old, but 77 I can kind of relate to. 77th podcast. And yes, I did go to Yankee Stadium many, many times to see the Yankees while I lived there in New York City. And I had a wonderful time. It's always an experience. And it's really easy because you just get on the train and you just follow the crowd. And all of a sudden you come up over the hill and there's the Yankee Stadium and everyone gets off. And it's absolutely beautiful. And you're walking into a cathedral of baseball where Ruth played, where Lou Gehrig played, Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle, and all of the greats. Reggie played there, Whitey Ford. It's absolutely terrific place to go get a dog, get a cold beer, and have a great, great time. And it's so easy to get to, and just had a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. Now, you would mention that your pal Sean, that's your cousin, that's Sean from Tipperary Springs, right?
Yes.
And so he was bragging to his buddies there in Dublin.
Yeah, he was making the rounds. He was just trying to let everybody know that he's cosmopolitan. Even though he lives in Tipperary Springs, he lets them know that, hey, I've been to New York City. I've been to that Big Apple, and who knows what other stories he told. I mean, that story right there was just enough to hold me back. But I imagine if he got wound up with his buddies, the stories really started flowing. But
Right.
that's the beauty of travel, is you get to share these with your friends, and they look in awe and they go, "Whoa, we need to go there sometime."
And the thing is about New York City and Dublin and Boston, New York City, Boston, they're suburbs of Dublin. the number of Irish who are there. They're suburbs, because you'll run into people who, oh, I just got back from New York City, or I'm going to New York City, or my grandmother lives there. Blah 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 blah. It goes back and forth. It's really just suburbs.
Yeah, it's a rather long commute, but it's an easy one from New York City because you get to go back and like you say, when you go to New York City versus Dublin, you can just look around and you see what are all these pubs, and like you just get confused with what location you really are.
Well, it's your cousin's going to be there too.
Yeah, yeah.
And Aer Lingus has a taxi service that goes direct.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a lot of fun and I can't wait till we hear back, get his letter. He always writes us letters, as you know, and I'm be anxious to hear what he says in his letter about his visit to New York City.
Yes, we are looking forward to another letter from Sean from Tipperary Springs. Now, this is our 77th podcast, and so I just kind of thought of something that hit me. In 1958, there was a TV show called 77 Sunset Strip.
Oh
Okay,
yes.
and it starred Efren Zimbalist Jr., Roger Smith, and what was his name? Ed Burns, who played Kooky. Kooky,
Hmm.
and there was a great song about Kooky, you let me or call him anyway. This is 1958, and my mother thought that Efren Zimbalist Jr. was so cute. She thought he was just so cute. And that show went on for 6 seasons and starting in 1958. So that's that. But today is a very interesting date in history, even though this is our sports show, but we are history guys. Uh,
Hmm.
in 1912, the Titanic sank today, or sank last night, and we didn't hear about it until the 12th today. And what's interesting, at where I lived in the West Village on Hudson Street, it's 2 blocks over from where the survivors that were picked up by the Carpathia, the USS ship Carpathia, came into New York City and dropped the survivors off there, right there at the Jane Street Hotel, which is at the corner of the river and Jane and Hudson. So it was only 2 blocks over where this, so it had historical aspects that the survivors were dropped, placed in the Jane Street Hotel just down the street from where I live. So anyway, that is a little history lesson today. Now I think you've got a little golf story, right?
Yeah, it's an exciting week in the world of golf, actually the world of sports. The Masters golf tournament in Augusta, Georgia is being played this week, and it's sacred ground. I mean, the people who manage this tournament are not in it for the money. To give you an example, first of all, uh, if you want a sandwich, it's $2.75 and it's a good sandwich. If you want a beer, it's maybe $5. Instead of this getting raked over the coals for $12 for a sandwich and $20 for a beer, they want to keep everything enjoyable. Another thing that they do is no electronics allowed on the course, meaning that when you walk through the gates, you give them your cell phone, your Apple Watch, whatever technology, and they'll keep it for you till you leave. If you get caught, like a golfer Quebecio, that was a past winner at the Masters the other day, got caught with his cell phone. They took his cell phone away and they banned him for life. So they're very serious. They don't care who you are. Rules are rules. So right now, as of yesterday, we have Rory McIlroy from Northern Ireland is in the lead, and he's up by he's 11 under, but there's another Irishman, Lowry. He's about 2 strokes back. So when they tee off today, there's going to be a lot of chasing and yelling and screaming about who's going to be the best for the Masters because if you're a Masters champion, you have just written your name in golf history. But so that's a lot of fun. But I got to point out about my Fort Wayne Tin Caps. Well, they've had a little bad luck. They've been playing the Grand Rapids Luggernuts the last couple days, and they've lost the past two games, but they can redeem themselves because they have a game this afternoon there to see if they can't break the losing streak. So we keep our fingers crossed and cheer for the hometown. Um, Doug the neighbor, how about you, buddy?
Well, we're sitting here enjoying our popcorn from Cracker Box Popcorn from Lander, Wyoming, Maxie up there. And it's a great, great product because it's Sunday morning and popcorn and some coffee. Here's some coffee right here. Cup of Joe. You got your cup of Joe?
Yeah.
Just great stuff. Joining the rest of the galaxy on a Sunday morning, checking over the sports. That's what we're doing. I forgot to show you. Here's our art department is Cracker Jack. We have this because they are our first sponsor, so we are doing our bit. Not a lot of money in the art department, but we're doing our bit to promote Cracker Box Popcorn up there in Lander. Just call them at 307-335-7020 and talk to Maxie and get yourself some popcorn. Now, our Texas Rangers are concluding a three-game series, excuse me, with the Dodgers. They lost the first two, and then today they play a game at 3 p.m. Austin time, and they're playing DeGrom is pitching and Sasaki is pitching. So that's the Texas Rangers, and they're in second place in the American League West, amazingly behind the Athletics, but at seven games each. So we've played 14 games. We're into the season, but now, more importantly, the El Paso Chihuahuas. Here we go, right here. We got our hat, minor league AAA team for the San Diego Padres. They have been playing the Albuquerque Isotopes, named after the what was the Simpsons show. They've played 6 games in the minor leagues, in the minor leagues AAA. What's very interesting is a team comes in town for a week and then they play 6 games. They travel on a Monday, and then they play for 6 games. So that's kind of interesting. They're there
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, notice they do the same thing. The Tin Cups do the same thing. They're on the road one week, they're home one week,
Yes.
and it makes it a lot easier and probably more cost effective for all the teams trying to manage their cost of travel.
Yes, absolutely true. So Albuquerque Isotopes have been in El Paso at the new stadium for the last 6 days, and then they have a game today. And a couple of players of note here. A guy named Jace Bowen and Rudolfo Duran are both bashing some home runs. They're doing pretty darn good, and looking like they're doing pretty darn good. They've got about 3 home runs each after, and the Chihuahuas are now 6-8, 6 wins and 8. Now the problem with minor leagues, the AAA, is you can be a good player and then the next, and you're doing really well, and the team's doing really well, and then you're promoted to the major leagues. So it's just about its development and that sort of stuff, but it can affect the team's standings, which is kind of interesting.
Yes, and it has to be very frustrating for the manager on one side is that he's got a good ball club, he's got the system in place for who's playing where and when, and then all of a sudden the phone call comes in and well, he loves to see his players, go up to the show, but
Yes,
then he has to figure out, well, who are we going to replace him with?
right.
Your best player is gone. Who's going, how are you going to readjust your players roster to make sure that they are still winning?
Yes, and of course, same applies for the single A and double A, where someone's doing really well there, they're promoted up and they have to fit into the team almost immediately, and you don't know how well their skills are till you see how they play and see what happens. And so Pete Zamora, the manager of the Chihuahuas, has a very interesting, difficult job as a coach as a teacher to help these young men get ready to go on up into the major leagues.
Yes, and but on the same token, when a player's at the show and he's maybe not hitting the ball as well as he should, or his fielding needs some work, he'll be sent down, and so that could be a nice surprise for the manager to say, "Hey, I got a guy who's been in the show for a year. He needs to come down and get some work done." So now he's playing in the AAA league. So
Absolutely true. But then again, if his certain skills need to be sharpened up, shaped up, that sort of
mhm,
stuff. He's doing extra fielding practice, extra batting practice, and he's monitored. To
yes,
then he plays a game, that sort of stuff to get him ready. So you have to be a coach, a teacher, also a psychologist, because here's somebody come who's going on up to the show, and you've got to keep them humble, and then someone who's coming down from the show, and you've got to bolster his spirits that he's still got it.
yeah,
It's a real
exactly.
tough job that goes in.
Yes, you wear many hats on that one. I mean, and but that's the reason why they're at that position because they love the challenge.
I love the challenge, yes, in dealing with these young men. Now, what's interesting right now for the Chihuahuas is they finish the 6 game road trip, or excuse me, 6 game homestand with Albuquerque in El Paso. And starting Tuesday, they're here for 6 games up here in Round Rock. They're playing the Round Rock Express. So hopefully I can get my act together and the weather changes because we are not looking good at all. I can get up to a game and maybe
That'd be
make
great. That'd be
and
great.
make
Maybe you could talk to some of the players or and get their viewpoint on baseball.
well, I'd like to go bat
Yeah,
or
yeah,
pitch.
yeah. Pitch. I think you'd be a better pitcher. That way, if you don't like the guy, you could hit him with a pitch.
Well, you see, the thing is, last time I did my pitching, I had my fastball up to 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's great for being a little leaguer.
Plus, it's 2 bounces to get to the plate.
Hey, hey, if they swing and miss, that's all you want.
So, looking forward to that. The Chihuahuas are coming to Round Rock, 20 miles north of Austin. So, for 6 games, to go up to a game, make some videos for us, get a dog, and have a great time.
Well, that's great. I hope you get up there and the weather allows you to sit there in the big seats and see what's going on. Don't forget to take your popcorn with you.
Yes, yes, I'm all set. TK, it's great seeing you. Play ball.
Aaron, go brawl.